Welcome to a guided tour of a factory. In this tour, you will explore the factory and find out how it works. This is the protective boundary wall of the factory. As you move in, you find yourself in the main work area. That's the control room. Everything is managed from here. Don't miss the power station. It keeps the factory running. This is where all the work is done on machines. Did you know that just like this factory, there are tiny factories in our bodies as well? Now, sit back and take a trip of the factory running in our bodies. Hi, I'll be your guide through the rest of the tour. Did you know that the cell is the fundamental and structural unit of life? Take a look at this generalized eukaryotic cell. You will come across the plasma membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus in a eukaryotic cell. Look at the cell. Notice the cell wall. The cell wall is the outermost covering which is non-living and rigid. It is seen only in a plant cell. It separates the cell contents from the surroundings and gives shape and protection to the cell. It is composed of cellulose and is permeable. Let's take a closer look at the next membrane called the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. It is a living membrane made of lipoproteins. The plasma membrane is selectively permeable as it allows the movement of some substances in and out of the cell. That's my selectively permeable plasma membrane. I'll show you the different ways in which substances move through it. There is spontaneous movement of gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration to form homogeneous solutions through diffusion. The diffusion of solvent molecules through a semi-permeable membrane from a region of low concentration to high concentration is called osmosis. Let's try this out. See what happens when the cell is placed in salt solution. One of three things could happen now. If the medium surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than the cell gains water by osmosis and swells. Such a solution is known as hypertonic solution. If the medium has the same water concentration as the cell, there is no net movement of water through the membrane and the cell stays the same size. Such a solution is known as an isotonic solution. If the medium has a lower concentration of water than the cell loses water by osmosis and then shrinks. Such a solution is known as hypertonic solution. When the cell loses water through osmosis, the cell contents shrink away from the cell wall. This is known as plasmolysis. Let's now look into the cell. This is the control center of the cell called the nucleus. The nucleus has a nuclear membrane which is double layered. The nuclear membrane is perforated to allow substances to enter and leave the nucleus. The nucleus contains chromosomes. Chromosomes contain hereditary information and are composed of deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA and proteins. Functional segments of DNA are called Genes. The nucleus plays a major role in cell division. It also controls cell development. The fluid living content between the plasma membrane and the nucleus is called cytoplasm. The nucleus, along with the cytoplasm, makes up the living content of the cell called protoplasm. Let's take a closer look at cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a clear, thick, jelly-like material with water, organic compounds, and organelles. The liquid part of the cytoplasm, other than the organelles, is called cytosol. Cytoplasm supports and protects the cell organelles that perform different metabolic functions.